Before we begin, let me say this. If you're enjoying these health-focused videos and appreciate honest, science-backed conversations about men's wellness after 50, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. It helps us reach more men who need clarity, not judgment, on topics too often ignored. Now, let's begin. Masturbation is a normal, healthy part of male sexuality, even after 50. In fact, research consistently shows that maintaining a balanced sexual routine is beneficial for prostate health, circulation, mood, and even sleep. But just because something is natural doesn't mean it can't be done incorrectly. I'm Dr. Mariah, a board-certified urologist with over 30 years of clinical experience, and today I want to guide you through a deeply personal, often misunderstood subject: how to masturbate safely and healthily after age 50. After 50, a man's body undergoes several changes. Testosterone levels shift, blood flow slows, sensitivity can decrease, and prostate health becomes more fragile. These changes aren't reasons to feel shame or anxiety. They're part of the human journey. But because your body is no longer 25, the way you approach solo intimacy must evolve too. And unfortunately, many men continue habits they picked up in their teens, unaware that these behaviors may now be damaging their bodies. In this series, I'll walk you through the 5 most common masturbation mistakes men over 50 make. Mistakes that can silently affect your hormone balance, pelvic floor, prostate, and even sexual performance. But this isn't about fear, it's about knowledge. The more you understand your body, the more confidently and safely you can live in it. So let's remove the embarrassment, ditch the misinformation, and start with what your body truly needs at this stage in life. One of the most overlooked issues I see in men over 50 is what we call the overgrip mistake, applying too much pressure during masturbation. This habit often starts early in life, usually from a place of urgency or secrecy during adolescence. But as we age, that same tight, aggressive grip becomes counterproductive and in many cases harmful. Men often report decreased sensitivity or even difficulty climaxing during partnered sex, not realizing that their own hand is conditioning their brain and body to respond only to a level of pressure that's unnatural. Why is this so problematic? The penis is a vascular organ. Its health relies heavily on blood flow and nerve sensitivity. As we age, both naturally decline. When you consistently grip too hard, you create micro-trauma to the soft tissues, reduce nerve sensitivity over time, and potentially cause what some urologists refer to as death grip syndrome. This isn't a formal medical term, but it describes a real effect, a growing desensitization that can sabotage intimacy with a partner and erode confidence. There's also a psychological component. When your body becomes accustomed to one specific, high-pressure type of stimulation, it begins to ignore more subtle, natural cues. This rewires your arousal pathways and makes it harder to respond during real-life sexual encounters. Many men blame age or low testosterone, but the truth is, their own technique may be the culprit. Think of it like listening to music at maximum volume for years. Eventually, your ears stop picking up softer sounds. Your nervous system works the same way. So what can you do? The solution is simple but powerful. Slow down and loosen your grip. Try open hand techniques, or even using a warm, water-based lubricant to simulate a gentler, more organic feel. Retrain your body to recognize a broader spectrum of sensation. At first, it might feel less intense, but over time, you'll notice a return in sensitivity, control, and pleasure. Your body wants to work with you, but you have to give it the chance to relearn. This one adjustment can radically shift how your body responds for the better. Another silent enemy to healthy sexual function after 50 is something I call the rush mentality. This habit develops from years, sometimes decades, of approaching masturbation with urgency, secrecy, or shame. Many men grew up feeling the need to finish quickly, in hiding, or under pressure. But what served as a survival tactic in youth becomes a damaging pattern in maturity. When you condition your nervous system to expect speed, tension, and anxiety during sexual activity, you're wiring your body for dysfunction. This rush mentality triggers the sympathetic nervous system, the same system responsible for fight or flight. It increases heart rate, constricts blood vessels, and reduces relaxation. The problem? Erections depend heavily on the parasympathetic system, the rest and digest mode that allows blood flow, tissue expansion, and arousal to unfold. If every self-pleasure session feels like a race against time or an obligation to just get it over with, you're essentially training your body to operate in the exact opposite mode of healthy arousal. Over time, this can lead to a dangerous trio: anxiety, frustration, and decreased performance. Some men experience premature ejaculation. Others struggle to feel connected or present during sex with a partner. And sadly, many assume they've simply lost it, that this is just how aging works. But in reality, they've unintentionally built a habit loop that undermines their natural sexual rhythm. It's not just about slowing down physically, it's about changing the internal script you've been following for years. The antidote? Intention. Create space for self-connection, not just release. Treat masturbation like a moment of wellness, not a problem to eliminate. Dim the lights. Breathe deeply. Touch your body with awareness. This isn't about performance, it's about presence. When men shift from urgency to curiosity, their entire experience changes. Erections last longer. Sensations feel richer. And most importantly, they begin to repair a lifetime of unconscious tension that has kept their sexuality locked in a stress response. One of the most overlooked but critical aspects of safe and satisfying masturbation after 50 is lubrication. You might think, I've never needed lube before, why start now? But the truth is, ignoring lubrication is one of the biggest mistakes mature men make, and it can silently lead to discomfort, irritation, and even long-term damage. As testosterone levels drop with age, so does natural skin hydration. The result? Increased friction, decreased sensitivity, and microscopic abrasions that go unnoticed until it's too late. Your penile skin becomes more delicate over time. The blood vessels beneath it don't replenish as fast as they did in your youth. Without lubrication, even moderate friction can create tiny tears, trigger inflammation, and raise the risk of developing scar tissue, which in turn can reduce elasticity and sensation. What starts as a dry habit quickly becomes a chronic source of irritation. Worse still, some men develop post-masturbation burning, thinking it's an infection, when in reality, it's self-inflicted trauma from dryness. There's also a psychological angle. Many men associate lubrication with dependency or weakness, but that's a myth rooted in pride, not medicine. Using lubrication isn't about dysfunction, it's about self-care. It's about honoring the reality of your aging body and adapting wisely. In fact, when used correctly, high-quality lubricants can enhance pleasure, reduce performance anxiety, and even help retrain your body towards slower, more responsive arousal patterns. So what should you use? Always choose a body-safe, water-based or silicone-based lubricant, not lotions or petroleum products, which can disrupt your skin and throw off your body's natural balance. Apply it generously and don't rush. You may find that what once felt mechanical or frustrating suddenly becomes relaxing, even meditative. For many men over 50, adding lubrication to their routine is the single most impactful change they can make to preserve sensitivity, avoid injury, and restore enjoyment to solo intimacy. Most men never think about posture when it comes to sexual health, but the way you sit, breathe, and carry tension in your lower body can drastically affect your prostate, erection quality, and pelvic comfort, especially after 50. Masturbating while slouched over with your hips compressed and your abdomen tight may not seem like a big deal, but over time, these habits can create chronic pelvic tension that restricts blood flow, increases pressure on the prostate, and even leads to pain or urinary issues. Here's what's happening. Your pelvic floor muscles, the same ones involved in bladder control and sexual function, can become overactive or strained when you engage in habitual tension without relaxation. Think about it. If every session involves holding your breath, tightening your core, and staying hunched for long periods, you're reinforcing a stress pattern that your body will carry into every area of intimacy. This tension can lead to symptoms that mimic prostatitis, such as urgency, aching, or incomplete emptying. even when no infection is present. Moreover, poor posture impacts nerve signaling. Compressed lower back and sacral areas, especially in men who sit for hours daily, can impair the nerve pathways that stimulate arousal and orgasm. You might find it harder to maintain an erection or feel pleasure, not because of hormones or age, but simply because your body is misaligned and tight. This is especially common in men with sedentary lifestyles or those who spend long hours at a desk without movement or stretching. What's the fix? Awareness and positioning. Try lying flat with support under your knees or sitting upright with an open chest and relaxed abdomen. Focus on deep, diaphragmatic breathing and let your pelvic area relax. Incorporating basic pelvic floor stretches or yoga poses like child's pose or happy baby into your weekly routine can make a huge difference. Remember, your sexual health isn't isolated, it's connected to your entire postural and muscular system, and your habits determine whether that system supports or sabotages you. A question I often receive from men over 50 is, how often should I masturbate? And the answer isn't one size fits all. However, getting the frequency wrong on either extreme can quietly harm your prostate and sexual function. Masturbating too frequently, especially with high intensity and poor technique, can overstimulate your prostate, leading to swelling, tenderness, and even disrupted urinary patterns. On the other hand, abstaining for long periods can cause stagnation, congestion, and a buildup of fluids in the prostate that also triggers discomfort. Your prostate is a gland designed for flow, not for storage. Going weeks without ejaculation, whether through sex or self-pleasure, can sometimes contribute to conditions like prostatitis-like symptoms or even benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, in susceptible men. When balanced, regular release helps flush the prostate, support hormonal health, and even improve sleep quality and mood. But again, it's about balance, not addiction, not suppression. That's where most men go wrong. The key is not just how often, but why and how. If you're using masturbation to cope with stress, boredom, or insomnia every single night, your body might suffer. You're likely overactivating your nervous system, draining dopamine, and forcing your prostate to endure unnecessary overwork. A healthy frequency for most men over 50 might be 2 to 4 times per week, enough to maintain flow and function, but not so much that it becomes compulsive or draining. Listen to your body. Track how you feel after. Energy up or down. Sleep better or worse. These are the real indicators. Finally, remember, pleasure should support your health, not sabotage it. If masturbation leaves you feeling drained, irritable, or numb, it's time to reassess. If it leaves you relaxed, grounded, and sleeping well, you're likely in a good rhythm. Your prostate doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency, care, and respect. Finding that middle path between neglect and obsession can transform not just your intimate life, but your overall sense of well-being. Most men focus entirely on the act of masturbation, but almost no one talks about what comes next. Yet, what you do after self-pleasure is just as important as what you do during it, especially after 50. Your body's ability to recover, reset, and regulate hormone levels is influenced by how you treat it post-climax. And for your prostate, circulation, and nervous system, the moments after release are a golden opportunity or a missed one. Let's break it down. During orgasm, your sympathetic nervous system peaks, triggering muscular contraction, heart rate elevation, and a temporary drop in blood pressure. Once the climax ends, your body begins shifting back into the parasympathetic phase, recovery, digestion, relaxation. But if you immediately leap up, start working, or expose yourself to stress, you block that vital reset. Worse, some men fall into shame or guilt afterward, which creates a subconscious pattern of tension and emotional withdrawal, undermining both mental and physical benefits. Prostate health is especially sensitive to circulation. After ejaculation, your pelvic region is naturally primed for blood flow and lymphatic drainage. Lying still for a few minutes, practicing deep breathing, or doing light stretching can help flush residual fluids, reduce inflammation, and calm the nervous system. It may sound simple, but those 5 to 10 minutes of intentional recovery can make a measurable difference in how your body integrates the experience, particularly for men struggling with pelvic tightness, anxiety, or nighttime urgency. This is also a great time to check in with your emotional state. Was your session rushed? Relaxing? Did it meet your needs or feel hollow? These subtle questions help you reconnect with your body and identify habits that serve or sabotage your vitality. Think of it like a workout. No athlete skips cool down. As a man over 50, your sexual self-care needs the same respect. Recovery isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the moment your body thanks you, repairs itself, and prepares for tomorrow with more strength and stability. By the time many men reach their 50s, their relationship with pleasure, especially self-pleasure, has become automatic, secretive, or even shame-based. It's either a quick release before bed, a stress coping mechanism, or something they feel guilty about afterward. But what if I told you that pleasure could be a powerful tool for healing, hormone balance, and lifelong prostate health if you change your mindset and habits around it? The truth is, your brain interprets every experience based on the intention behind it. When you approach masturbation with presence, curiosity, and care, your nervous system responds with safety and relaxation. Your pelvic floor releases tension, your hormones align more naturally, and even your testosterone levels benefit from the balance between arousal and recovery. But if you rush through the experience, ignore your body's signals, or treat it like a hidden habit, your system remains in a low-level fight or flight state, keeping you stuck. This is especially relevant after 50, when your body craves slower rhythms, deeper connection, and deliberate recovery. Instead of chasing intensity or using aggressive stimulation, try slowing everything down. Focus on breath. Notice sensation. Explore different positions. These small adjustments not only improve the quality of your experience, but also help train your prostate to stay relaxed and functional, reducing risk of chronic inflammation or dysfunction. You're not just getting off, you're cultivating vitality. In the end, self-pleasure after 50 isn't about frequency or technique alone. It's about respecting your body as it changes, aligning your habits with your biology, and letting go of shame. When done consciously, masturbation becomes a source of energy, not depletion. It supports sleep, confidence, hormone health, and emotional balance. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds you that your health is in your hands, literally and metaphorically. Your body still has the power to feel, to heal, and to thrive. You just have to treat it like it matters, because it does.